So, hello everyone. This is Manon Doucet, published author, and not my co-host, we both host my beautiful Dahlia there, which also work in German language. She's also an author, right? So you want to tell us about you, Dahlia?
Yeah, my name is Dahlia, and I've been using Sudowrite since March 2023 to plan, write, and revise my novels. And I primarily write in German. And my my main genres are fantasy, thriller, and romance. And in this session, we will provide you a little overview over Sudowrite and answer your questions about what working in non-English languages. And I will share my screen and show you a bit of my process first. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hand with the React function, or you can just, like Manon just did. And you can also type your questions into the chat. Perfect.
So like Dahlia, I'm a bit older than Dahlia in Sudowrite. I started in January. So we're already over 2 years now that we are doing the Sudowrite. So we saw it from almost in black and white, like the old TV, all the way to today with all the toys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. When I started, we didn't have Story Bible yet. We didn't even have Story Engine. So a lot happened between March 2023 and now. So at first, I wanted to show you how I would set up a new project. Project 80. As you can see, I did a lot of projects so far. Do you have any genre you're particularly interested in? And I can't see
We're going towards Halloween, and there is also the NaNoWriMo coming around. So do you want to do something coming close to that?
Oh yeah, we could do some gothic horror or something like that.
Sounds good. There's also someone says romantic, and oh, we're not in the erotic.
Yeah, if we want to do something erotic, we have to ask first if everyone's above the age of 18. And we didn't do this for this class, so we have to say, but we can like some gothic romance, maybe.
And put some Halloween inside of it, or a bit of a mix of genre.
A genre mix, yes. If I'm looking for ideas, I like to just ask a first draft. And I usually would write this in German.
Go ahead, write it in German and send me the English version so I can translate it in French.
Okay.
So we'll show the same project, but in 2 different languages if it's not 3 languages. How's that?
That's a good idea. And this basically says, give me a list of 5 concepts for a gothic horror romance. And to make sure that it actually writes in German, I always add a little magical prompt. I have it somewhere for just copy pasting. Like write all output in German, schreibe alle Ausgaben auf Deutsch. And this is no prose, since first draft likes to just start writing a story instead of giving us like ideas.
Oh, I like that.
And I figured out with a lot of testing recently that let's say 20, like, yeah, like 90% of the time this works if you say no prose. Let's see. Forbidden love.
Can you send me your prompt, please, directly? You put it there, but
I'll type it into the chat.
where is it?
Yeah,
you type it, but you
it
didn't send it. Where is it?
Yeah, usually it shows up. Here. There.
Okay. Open it and see if I can do a screenshot and copy it.
Show more. Maybe copying worked.
No.
It's a bit fickle.
Open it. Oh, you got it. Thank you.
Worked.
Carry on.
The first is about a young noble woman in love with a mysterious man who lives in a castle. It sounds a bit like Romeo and Juliet, like their families have a long-standing feud. And I think we could just run with the first idea. Oh, Vampire Prince and the Werewolf, also fun. I think that's more fitting for Halloween, actually. Like a vampire prince and a female werewolf falling in love. Yeah. I think that's very Halloween themed, so that we can try this one. I'll also put this one in the chat if for anyone who also wants to toy around with this. And if I have like an idea, I put it into the brain dump. Oh, that's nice. And I also add our lovely little magical prompt so that it writes everything in German. You have to reinforce this in every box, essentially. So that Sudowrite doesn't forget that it's not supposed to write in English. And here in the style, we now have featured styles. And dark and foreboding is great for horror, thriller, or other darker themes. And I think that would be quite nice for something gothic. Spicy.
Yeah, did you show how many tokens that took to generate that?
No, I haven't. But I can show you.
Next one.
Yep, next one. Yeah, this was 385. It's not too expensive.
No.
Now, when you use the featured style, you can still change stuff about it. In this case, we need to add this, that it's supposed to write in German, so that it writes in German. And since this already has the 40 words, we either have to delete something or we'll add some hyphens. So that we can save a few words. We shouldn't overdo this, but I think it's okay for haunting language.
How did you get to the style? I missed something?
It's still doing that. It's one of the featured styles.
Okay. Thank you.
That are now here, and I chose the dark and foreboding one. Since that should fit quite well with the gothic horror story. And it's a bit unfortunate that we have to reinforce the language and everything, since we're losing some words. This, yeah, now it works.
The style box is looking at what?
A style box.
Oh, we don't have that interrogation point anymore.
No, we don't have this anymore. We now get this little info here at the bottom that says that the style box affects beats and prose. But I think
it doesn't tell us where it takes the information from. It used to.
It doesn't. But I think style only took from. I think style only took the information from match my style or whatever you put in. You couldn't generate it based on the other boxes before either. So I think.
Oh, that's where there's no more.
There's no. We used to have little question marks with information, but now we only get this short info down here.
Yeah, something to ask them to add back those interrogation points so we know what is matching with what, or where it takes the information from to get the box filled up.
Yeah, and for genre, I would choose something like Gothic horror, and I don't need to type the end, and dark romanticism. You should avoid romance, since then you get a lot of cliches in your prose. Criticism. I'm not sure if I wrote this right, but yeah.
The AI is intelligent enough, it will figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, the AI likely will understand anyway. Clever enough. And with this information, I will have a generated synopsis. And as you can see, it writes German, and I just chuckled, since I have another story that also has a Prince Valerian in it. So there are some names it likes to use again and again for fantasy.
Yeah, it does.
So Prince Valerian, and there's Luria, the daughter of the alpha werewolf. Yeah, and there's, against all reason, they started a passionate love affair. Oh. Yeah, should I copy this as well so that we can share it?
It won't match in that box. It's too much words.
Oh,
but
yeah,
we can start
too much.
We start a project that we can share and.
Good idea. Then share this later. So, are there any questions so far?
They were asking if the first draft was changed to 4.0, and I don't have the answer for that.
I don't know either. We had recently changed some older GPT models to newer ones.
Yeah.
So it may be that it was affected, but that's a good question to ask later today during the office hours. Hoping that Michael knows. I mean, I think it's today.
Yes, it is after this.
Perfect. So we can post the answer in Discord when we know. Good. So usually I would take some time to thoroughly read.
I sent you the document so you can pass in the synopsis.
Oh, great.
Then we share with the groups.
Great. Usually I would read this thoroughly and then
Perfect.
work it to fit my vision. But since we don't have time for this right now, I just skip this part and pretend that this is exactly how I wanted it to look. And like before, we also have to add our little magic phrase in here, since, well, like we can't see this anymore right now because we don't have the little question mark, but not all boxes are red when stuff gets generated. So we have to make sure that at least in one of the boxes that is looked at, we have that everything should be written in German. So and before I forget, this synopsis was 2016 credits. So it's not too expensive. And the synopsis, at least as far as I'm updated on this, is generated based on Sonnet. It uses Sonnet for its generation. I think the 3.0 version, not 3.5, but it's still quite good. And when we have our synopsis, we can generate a cast based on this. And since this is taking some time, this is also a good moment if anyone who joined later has any questions to answer them.
Go ahead, because I'm trying to get the document up to date as you go.
I'm just looking at the chat. Ah, yes, the idea I did generate with first draft. And I just copy the prompting once more.
Oops.
It usually works quite well to get some ideas. Sometimes I also discuss stuff with quick chat. Or use this brainstorming function. It depends on how much.
Very good.
Yeah. It all depends how concrete my ideas already are. Okay, we have now our cast. And what I have found is that when it generates stuff in German, the names sound very, very German, regardless of the setting. Since usually Gothic horror is something that's more of a setting for the
older. Older, like not
it's older.
Yeah.
It's like older, and I always think of like some British castle or something, a house where this is set, and not with characters like von Nacht is like of the night, Valerian of the night, basically. Luria, Moonshadow, which is also a very cliche name for a werewolf. I mean, the Moonshadow part. But in general, it's quite good filling out all the fields that I have. And as you can see, I have a lot more fields than you have by default, since I changed this in my custom optimization.
Mm-hmm.
And I also changed all the traits to German because it helps the AI if everything is in one language as much as possible.
Do you have a way to brainstorm names that you really like that belong to the Gothic era?
Not really. I usually like to look up names on behindthename.com,
Okay.
or I just go back and forth in chat to find some names that I like.
We have a question
But are
there
not as
in the chat.
Mhm.
Would you like to go back into your first draft and suppose that you want to change some details to your synopsis or add more information? Basically, I think what they want to know is how you work with the laser tool in that language.
Okay, I can go back. Like if I want to expand, like we use this here. Oh, I think I hear a bird somewhere chirping. That's
Yeah,
good.
me too.
Yeah, I would either ask quick chat or quick edit, something like rather specific to get it a bit longer. And I would also add our writer output in German. So it should be able to do this by default.
Yeah. Did you try without telling it to not put the right in German?
If I write the description, like the command in German, it always works. But I wasn't sure this time, since for the sake of everyone understanding what I'm actually asking, told it in English, but it should work.
Okay.
Like, okay, this is a
little bit of glitch, that's all.
bad. Yeah, that's a little glitch that we can tell the staff later on.
Mhm.
But as you can see, it got a lot more detailed than it was before.
Yeah.
Then you can accept it, and it hopefully, okay, this looks a bit.
Just need to refresh your screen and then it's going to
Yeah,
fit in the box normally. I'm not sure how to say the
I
name
just love.
Yedazanotti. I'm not sure if I say that right or not.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah,
All right. So
it's here.
to answer your question, I'm not sure which language you are writing in. What language are you using?
Well, although I'm fluent in English, I write in Portuguese, my first language. And the
Portuguese.
problem is that although I give the commands in English, né, if I give the commands in Portuguese, I receive, for example, if I ask for a detailing, more detail of a certain part, I receive the reply in English, or the output ends up to be in English. If I do the questions in English, I also have an output in English. So it's not giving me an output in Portuguese.
Okay. Can you put in the chat any kind of what you give the Sudowrite to do for you in Portuguese? Can you give me a prompt that you use that doesn't work so we can see if we can fix it?
Yeah, I have to open my Sudowrite here. I'll take some
Take your time.
Okay.
Yeah. We have time.
Yeah.
And
During that time, Dahlia, you were in your character box. What were you doing there?
right. I was One thing I wanted to point out is that currently the names, when you use the names for write or what's it called? Chapter generator in beats, it will be matched like word by word. So in this case, Valerian for Nacht, if there would be one, which is the German word for off, or Nacht, any like night in the text, this character would be pulled in. And also, if you have a character with the same last name, like here, König Walter von Nacht, which is likely Valerian's father or something, he would also be pulled in whenever you have Valerian's full name in a beat, or the words von or Nacht. Same with like his other name, der dunkle Herrscher, which is like the dark lord, essentially. So I tend to make sure that words like der are not in other names. Or here I would just leave this out. Therefore, I have this field for Spitznamen, which is like nicknames, where I would enter stuff like that his full name is König Walter von Nacht. So that it's make sure that it doesn't get pulled in where I don't want him to be pulled in. In some cases, to be completely sure, I would put it on here or never, so that the AI doesn't look at it at all. If I don't want to have this accidentally pulled in because I have like the word König or something else that could match with him in my prompt. Okay. Are any questions about this?
Any question?
Nope.
Do you want me to take over, Dahlia, and show my way of going?
Yeah, if you like to, we can do this.
Hmm?
If you like to, we can do this and then come back to the outline later, maybe.
I'd like to help her and see if we can get anything going on in Portuguese.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Let's see if we can help our friend with the Portuguese. So I would put in the chat there what I believe should be one of the prompt that you should put into Sudowrite for getting everything in Portuguese. You want to try it or you want me to do it, Dahlia?
You can do it if you like to. I'm just
Okay.
looking for, since I have two desktops, I'm searching for the place where I can stop my screen sharing. So
Okay.
there it, it's there.
You got it?
So that we can switch over. And
All
I can.
I'm going to see if I can share my screen.
I take over to the chat. Oh yeah, Estelle Van asked, when I customize the character box, will it go to other projects? So yes, currently, if you customize your character box, it's the same for all projects, but it's planned that you can have different templates, for example, different genres or series, so that you can have it a bit more individual. But for now, you have one customized box for all projects. But existing stuff won't be changed if you changed something in your character customized box.
So for my
Did
little
this
friend
answer the
there,
question?
sorry. For my little friend in Portuguese there, is that the right Portuguese?
That's right.
All right, so let's see if that first draft will give us a good Portuguese.
Yes, it is in Portuguese.
All right, so one thing which is very important that I've been learning a lot with Sudowrite is when you write in a different language and you want to use the laser tools and everything else. I'm going to wait for this thing to finish. He has a lot to say in Portuguese.
It's a romantic language, unfortunately. So everything you write in German or English in one sentence, in Portuguese, about 3 or 4 sentences, regrettably.
Well,
Whoa.
German is similarly long, so it's always like twice as long as the same in English, but mostly because we also have very long words. So
yeah.
So one
and
thing I like
complicated
to show
sentences.
you is when you go into the right here, you know that right setting?
Yeah.
Go in it. In the detail here, that little sentence there to put everything in Portuguese, put it there. And they remove the prose thing. So that says to write everything in Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
So this way, in many of those tools, somehow I know they come over and they take the key details. And I'm not going to fight with anyone about that. To me, is as soon as I write everything in French and I put it there, I have 50% less problem if it's not more. So I always put it there in my key details. And then I work with my creativity. I'm in love with balance. I really like balance. They have all those new things. Everyone has that now.
Yeah, everyone should be having this. It's lovely because you learn a bit more about each model than before when you just had like the very short description of like most accurate, like what does it even mean?
Yeah, so I really like balance when I'm working with those laser tool here. But that little sentence, I always keep it in mind everywhere I go. So now we have our first draft. And one of the questions you were asking, let's see if I could, I don't even know what story 3 is talking about, but I'm going to take this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in my brain dump. And here, doesn't matter if you put it in the brain dump or in the synopsis, it's going to pick it up in one or the other. So I'm going to put it in here for now because I really like to see if it's going to give me the rest in Portuguese. So that's true. It doesn't give us, we cannot even generate that. We have to get these done in Portuguese. So let's get me that little sentence in Portuguese. We are working with romance gótico, right? That's the genre.
Yes, I write here for you.
Oops, where's my Zoom?
Okay.
Hold on, I have to get my chat because when we are sharing, we lose the chat.
I just wanted to try to copy this for you, but it can't
yeah.
All right. So romance gótico in the genre, like this. And I want to get, I'm going to leave it like this. Match my style now that we don't have that choice anymore. That's a class by itself to show how to use match my style. But if you have something written in the language you want, and you could put it in match my style, it's supposed to answer you in the same language. But to make sure you put that right, the writing setting that see, well, okay, it's working. So
Yeah.
it's writing right now, and it's writing in Portuguese.
Yeah.
And I didn't have
Thank
to go and click on anything else and say write in Portuguese. I just clicked right here, and it was working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not sure even where it got the information from. I had that highlighted, so that's where I take it from. Okay. So the rewrite on the other side, it might not do it, but let's do a rewrite. If you do the rewrite, you can say all these things, but in our language, it's easier when we go and customize. But just for the fun of it, let's see if we can get it to go shorter and see if it's going to, because I know they work very hard on their language. So let's see if it's going to catch that we are in Portuguese.
Huh.
We got it.
We got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So let's see the describe button now. We just want one of those. Let's see if it's going to do the describe in Portuguese.
Oh, that's
so they
very
work
long
very
description.
hard on our language. We don't have to put our little magical sentence everywhere.
Very good. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Certainly does. Now I can subscribe Sudowrite.
Bravo.
I was using the free version in order to learn, to see if it could do what I wanted. But I was really having a problem with the language, and then now it's somehow working. Very good.
Now I'm going to try the synopsis, see if it's going to do it without the magic sentence, because the synopsis, it will go get the information from the brain dump. And you probably go get information from everywhere else too, but we'll see what it's going to do with the synopsis, or if we have to put that magic sentence. See, it's not doing it in the right language. And then we have the cancel button. Ooh, that's cool. So what it doesn't do in your language, you go get that sentence that you put in your right, copy it, go in your brain dump, and put it on top like this.
Yeah.
Okay. To make sure, do it also in a genre, because they haven't catch up to this yet. And let's see if it's going to do it now.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so some of the box did catch up to the language, but some of the box needs that little prompt.
Okay.
Now the character, we know that you get the character from the synopsis. So what he says here, can you translate that for me?
Write all output in Portuguese.
Oh, he put it for me. Great. All right, so let's see if it's going to give me the character. Let's see if we can add one character, and I don't want to generate all of them, I just want one. And what name do we have in here? Do we have a name?
Edgar.
Where is it? Edgar. This one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, got Ravenwood. That's also very AI.
Like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
One thing that I know that I did when I was in French, when I did generate the character in French, it wasn't doing it in French. But I find out after that, if you go and fill this in, it was doing it in the right language. So let's see if it's going to still do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of going generate and losing all my credit, I went and took all my character one by one, brought them in and filled them in one at a time like this. And that's the only way I got my language to come in properly.
Okay.
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 And then the outline. So where's the outline coming from, Dahlia? Where is it taking it from?
It's looking at characters, world building, and genre and synopsis. And if synopsis is empty, it's looking at the brain dump.
So we have our little prompt in everything. So it should give us an outline in there. So let's try one. Which one is a short one? Story circle.
Star circle, yeah.
Let's see what it's going to give us.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
looks very Portuguese.
There we
Yes.
go. So I prefer to use Sudowrite to write directly in the language of my choice. And I know a lot of people asking, oh, I want Sudowrite to translate. Why would you lose your credit on translating? You have a lot of apps out there to do beautiful translation, and ChatGPT is one of them. It does beautiful translation. But write in your language in Sudowrite. That's my 2 cents there. So
one thing about the
chapter now. How we get the chapter to
Happy-
work? So Act 1 should be fine, but here we have to change this part here. You have to write it in English, sadly. As soon as you write it in English, it shows up.
Thank you.
All right. And the outline, we're going to make sure we have our magic sentence to make sure everything is in the right language. So I'm going to take the one you give me in the synopsis. I'm going to put it right here. Create chapter 1. Did I went too fast?
No, it's okay.
All right, so now that's the other thing. If you can see, I haven't changed these yet.
Yeah.
Now, here's a funny thing with that. If you leave it like this, it's going to do the whole story in chapter 1.
Yeah.
You understand what that do? So instead of doing chapter 1 with this, it's going to make a fairly long story, but not as long as a real story. So I don't know if someone have fun with that, but I did a couple of times and I was like by mistake, and I says, whoa, okay, that's kind of cool, because that's how you can make a short story. So let's see if it's going to generate. Now that's one is the one which I'm having the most problem, is to get this to generate in the right language.
Yeah, I completely stopped using this.
Yeah,
since it's just going back to English, no matter what we do so far.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes I have to go here and that little sentence.
I haven't tried this with the new upcoming outline. That we could try this at the end, if it works better with the new outline that's currently in beta.
Let's try this with this and see if it's going to work. No. So sometimes we really have to play with it, but read the outcome of it. And if you like the outcome, what I like to do is put it on top of the beat and says, okay, I like the outcome, but I want the story to be written in Portuguese. Check your beats, make sure that sentence is on top, and anything else you want, write it in Portuguese if you want things changed from here. There's a hit and miss. Sometimes it's going to give them in the language you ask for, and some other times, 75% of the time is going to be in English. 25% of the time is going to be lucky and get it in the language you're looking for. So I'm going to go with the excellent for this one and see if it's going to do in Portuguese.
Yeah, something I like to do is, if I get the beats in English, that I use Quick Chat to edit them into German. That also works.
That too. Well. You can go and translate them.
But that looks good. I mean, to my eye, it looks like it's Portuguese. Not sure what someone who actually speaks the language thinks, but
Oh no, it is. It's very good. Very
It is
good.
good. All right. So
Perfect.
hopefully they are working very hard on getting the other language to work. So that's why we see a lot of good outcome when we work with it. They are working to get it in our language. So they're working on it. So that's all I can say. They're working very hard on it.
Yeah. Manon, will we have a copy of this explanation of this presentation?
It's on the video there and it's going to be uploaded after the class. And then we have this, I'm going to share this again. I'm going to get all the notes in and Dahlia is going to put her notes in too.
Okay, okay.
In the document. So everything we just did in your language, I'm going to put it in the document. I already started. Can you see this? No, you're still on my, sorry. I'm switching screen, but you guys cannot see what I'm doing.
Perfect.
So everything is going to be here.
Yeah.
So Dahlia
Perfect.
right now is putting her notes. And I already put the Portuguese part right here. And I'm going to put the outcome of the Portuguese, and she's going to put the outcome of the German.
Okay, perfect.
Any question that we can answer you, or any
I'm
one of
fine
you?
now. I'm fine now. You have answered my questions. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll try to find my screen. Where's everybody? Okay. Okay, so I have which screen was sharing?
Yeah.
So that's the other one. I'm going to stop sharing so I know what I'm doing. All right. Okay, so do we have more questions in the chat that we can answer?
No, I didn't see any questions, but maybe we could use the last 10 minutes to show the new outline.
Oh, sounds good.
And how well it works.
Go.
As a little preview.
Yep.
Then I
You
have
can
to
share your screen.
Yeah, I'm just looking where. Yeah, this window is the right one. Now we're back. And also the characters we generated were roughly 30,000 things. And this is a different project than the one that we worked on before because this is a bit more detailed. It has more characters, some more world building to draw from. So that I hope that the outline will be quite good. And also, like we did in the demonstration, we have to add this little write all output in German to the boxes. And then we can switch to our new outline unlimited. That the beta started yesterday. So there will still be likely some bugs in it, but we don't have any limitations anymore in like the word limits. So this should be better for longer stories, since in my case, I often have so many chapters in my stories that they don't fit all into the outline. So for the demonstration, yeah, I'd go for story circles since it's rather short so that it doesn't take so long, hopefully. And this now reads all the information in the project and will give us a detailed outline. I hope. I tested this once for a story in German and it gave a beautiful outline, which was a lot more detailed and nuanced than it used to be before.
I used it on the nonfiction. I spent pretty much 6 hours on that yesterday, getting the nonfiction working with the brand new outline. And I don't know if you saw my notes inside the Discord. But I got it.
Oh,
I got it to work. So one trick's that if some one of you have the new outline that they are in the beta, and you also have plugins, just a hint in top of your beat box, put your plugin on top as your command and your new outline beats underneath. And I tell you, it works beautifully. Too bad though, I have 2,000 words max in the beatbox. I went over.
yeah. I mean, it's lovely how detailed this is getting. Like usually a chapter summary was a lot shorter than this.
Mm-hmm.
And as we see, it's in German, everything.
Yeah.
We get our 8 chapters, like Story Circle is a rather compact outline. So that was to be expected.
But now we have the rewrite too, huh?
Yeah, now we can rewrite. And I wanted to try something that I always have in my, like I have a plugin to make my chapter summaries more detailed. I wanted to test if that works if I put it into rewrite. I'm just looking where I have this. It's like a little stress test. Yeah. Okay.
Nice. So what she's showing that
render.
she's having a very detailed outline, that she wants to have all the information like the POV. You want to tell us in English what you put down in here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a command to rewrite the outline so that it has more specific and concrete details, and that there are no vague information, and that it should pay attention to staying in the main character's POV, and that it should follow the following like template of chapter title, POV, setting, time, characters in the chapter, and then a short summary with the internal conflict, external conflict, the decision the character has to make, the consequence of the decision, the goal of the chapter, and then a detailed summary of the chapter. This works well with my plugin. And now I'm very curious if Rewrite Outline will actually follow this. Let's go and see.
You'll be able to put that prompt into the document?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Tomorrow when we do the French one, I'm going to show how to import a French document and how to deal with all those boxes in the new outline in French.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to get into more detail with this when I'm having the German class next week. Until then, I hope that I'll have some more time to experiment.
So much new toys, that so many different ways we can use them.
And it's lovely that we have so much space for each chapter summary now, and are not limited to the, I think it was 1,700 words for the whole outline.
Yeah, 1,700 words.
Like in my usual outline, that's like 4 chapters max that I can actually fit into there when I have everything.
I don't feel bad anymore because I have chapter which books outline which are 15,000 to 38,000 words. So for me, it was like, oh, everything is cut down. So I'm so happy. I was jumping up and down, open the champagne bottle.
Yeah, definitely. Like I used to only have the chapter in the outline that I was actually working on, since the others just wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
Which was a bit, well, annoying and prone to error, that I just would mess up like the sequence of the chapters. But now we have these boxes. And now it's also fine to keep it called Akt and Kapitel instead of, it didn't do anything. Oh, well, let's try it again.
Didn't work.
Like to keep.
Try in English.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll rewrite it to English and then I'll try again. Where was I? But now it's not so important how we call this.
So you didn't change anything at all?
It recognizes this. It doesn't look like it changed anything. I just look how expensive this was.
Yeah, that was my other question.
Like it was more expensive than generating the outline. That's
and yeah, that's a glitch there.
Yeah.
So that's one
that's
thing.
a glitch, definitely.
Yeah.
We can just send them this video and then they can see what we did and what didn't work. Or I just go into a new document. And have quick edit. That's also a bit glitchy how it looks like now.
I've never tried this one in Quick Edit. So that's one that doesn't cost anything to make quick translation.
Yeah, it works really well, usually. I'm not entirely sure if it's doing something right now since it's not in the window. It's
there you go.
Okay, now. Okay, it didn't do what I was actually asking it to do.
Now I will have used Quick Chat to do it. That's why I was curious to see what that's going to be doing when the Quick Edit is normally doing a story or fixing and writing what you want as a story or prose.
It used to work well before, but for a while it's not behaving as well. It's possible since they changed the engine. Since this used to be ChatGPT 3.5, but since they're not using this anymore for anything, it's likely for Mini now. And that's okay. But this actually seems to be
the start of it is kind of
start of it.
All right, and then after that, it started writing.
Yeah, it started to actually fill out this for some chapter. It just made something up. But I kind of like what it did, so I just keep it.
Yeah, and just take the first part. Take the first part and bring it.
Yeah.
That part, the chapter title, discover. Oh no, he put all the names and the.
It already put everything in. It just basically did the rewrite that chapter rewrite didn't do. So
yeah, you got to try, but
so we try again
chat.
With Quick Chat.
Yeah.
But at least this is for free, so it's not so bad if it just does something weird once in a while. Are there, in the meantime, while this is looking at likely everything in this document before it translates, are there any questions in the chat? I can see it.
You have to tell it to keep the structure.
Oh, okay, now
Thank you, Michelle.
Translated
nice to have you on board. See you soon. Did you do the translation properly?
Yes, this looks...
It's just a bit messed up, but it's there.
Yeah, it's there. So we can try this again. Rewrite. But I think it was mentioned in the beta channel that a few of those rewrites commands weren't working properly yet. But as I said before, it's a brand new beta, so that's to be expected.
Is there a reason why some of them has 2 dash?
Like this conflict and
There's 2 dash. Why is there's 2 minus sign?
it's
You're
more like
welcome,
for
Jay.
formatting for me, since if I would make this into a normal list, it would be conflict, internal conflict, conflict, external conflict, and it's like
Okay.
I can't think of the English description right now. Like
Yeah.
just some formatting, since this like Unterpunkt. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a
You want to
sub
try the rewrite, or you want to
of
put
it.
that magical translate everything in?
Yeah, I definitely. I just hope I get this works. Where's my little write all output in? Yeah, next. The next attempt.
Mhm. Definitely take a long time since we have
Yeah,
all those new toys, and they do ask a lot of the model, so it takes time for everything to
yeah.
generate.
Are there any questions in the chat we could answer in the meantime?
No, some people are leaving because we passed the hour.
Ah, yeah,
So the person, Jade's still here. So let's see if he's doing the rewrite, and I like to see if you can do some prose, and then after that we'll call it the day.
yeah. I mean, if it doesn't work, we just generate beats and then
Yeah.
some prose and then. It's really taking a lot of time. So
Yeah. They might be doing some work on it too, so
yeah, no,
oh,
it didn't work again.
Telwyn, she says that you have to ask to keep the structure. Gosh.
And it's yeah,
She wrote it in German for you too.
at least.
As
Thank you.
outline.
Yeah, so I will try this a bit more over the next week, and hopefully it will work in the German class when I
Sounds
get
good.
to it.
So with
But
that
let's
there, can
see.
you see what we get for change the color of the background? We have that problem with the sorbet. We cannot see what's going on in the chapter.
Yeah, it's a bit. I hope that's a fix that will be sent soonish. Okay, this is looking good.
That's funny. He does understand the German chapter.
Yeah, yeah. Now this works. This is great. In the past, like having to change this all the time was just annoying.
Yeah, in Portuguese, I had to change it in chapter because he doesn't get the Portuguese version of it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see if it generates beats if it's clever enough to just generate beats in German by
If it does
default, I
everything in
don't believe
German.
that. So I really don't believe that this will work, but we can just try again, adding the magical prompt to it. Of course, cancel. But it's nice that we have this cancel button now. We didn't used to have it.
That's true. I never put it in the bottom of my outline before, so that might work with the new outline to put it on the bottom or on the top where the W is.
Yeah.
Frankly, I probably put it in both places to make sure it works.
Oh yeah, that is. Sometimes it's the best to just put it everywhere, right in German. God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if it works.
Generate beats. But thankfully, even if the beats are in English, it usually just writes prose in German without. Okay, this is still an issue.
Yeah, he still doesn't want to do it. She says that, sorry if you tell Quick Chat to keep the structure while translating. It usually doesn't change the to prose, just saying. Okay.
Oh. That's a good tip, thank you.
Yeah. Now you put your magical sentence and see what we get for story. It's on top of your beats, yeah. Do you like sometimes to tell what German you want or which kind of like era?
I usually, well, this is contemporary, so I would just leave it. But sometimes I just tell it that it should sound like older if it's like fantasy or something. But let's see. I'd like to try a bit with basic. Since I found that GPT-4 or Mini is quite good at writing prose. And it's the cheapest. Though I fear, considering I have a very full world building and characters, that it still will be expensive. Just preparing. Yeah. But it sounds quite good. I mean, there are a few of the agisms that it always likes to put into language, like my voice was barely a whisper and stuff like this. But overall, it writes quite well.
Is there something in German language that do these, these dialogue trema? I don't know. You said in Doucet and Dahlia or these there in the chat.
Yeah.
Some of them are straight, some of them are curled, some are up, some are down.
This, yeah.
So that one is up and down and upside down.
Yeah, I don't really know why it does these. I actually prefer if it gives me this once, and then I can just fix it with Scrivener to have the ones that I like, since the ones I like are actually
that's the first time I see so many of them in one generation.
Yeah.
So maybe
But it's weird that it starts like this and then everyone else is that.
Yeah. So it's sometimes it's a glitch to send them. It says that why it's straight one, and after that we have curl, and they're not even in the right direction.
It's good. For
All right.
German, this is actually the right direction.
Okay.
Oh, is it? I think so. I never used this once.
Because I would think that would go on the other side because it's the ending of.
Maybe it should be different. Oh, I'm not sure, but it looks a bit weird.
It looks
But
a bit
at least
weird.
this is something easy to fix.
Yeah. So before we close the recording, do we have any question before we just say goodbye and Auf Wiedersehen? Did I say that right?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. So we started a bit. I'm going to stop the recording. So I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up today to our language, three language that we visit. So hopefully you learn something, and that tell other people when they are brand new to Sudowrite to not drop the shoe and just try to learn to work with the Sudowrite in the language, because they're going to come up with that drop down, and then we can choose a language we want, and from there everything will be in our language. Oh yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. This is Manon Doucet, and my beautiful host there is
Dahlia. Also, thank you so much for your attention, and I hope to see you in another workshop soon.
Yeah, we are going to have those workshops every month, and we have our German workshop every month also, as far as I know, and the French one is the third Saturday of every month.
Yes, the German workshop is the last Saturday of every month.
All right.
Maybe not after Christmas, but we will see.
Yeah. And the Friday is the one we're going to do the draw, working together on language, and see if we can help a lot more other people with other language too. So if Dahlia is okay with that, we can keep it at the third Friday of every month.
Yeah, that should work.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now.